Hello, welcome to the Quakes Motel. My name's Conan, I'm the concierge. Everyone's been making videos about it. A few people have asked me what's my opinion on the new, or rather leaked, Akai MPC XL flagship. Let's jump in. So as I said, everyone else has made a video about it. So I thought I'd throw in my 2 pence, or 2 cents if you're in the US. So what do we know about it so far? What we know is it's big and it's got lots of buttons.
Help! Help me! Send help! We're running out of buttons.
So I don't want to be too cynical, and I am a cynical person. It's just how I am. It's just how I am, and I apologize for that. But firstly, if it is going to happen, if this MPC XL is real, then I am of the belief that Akai have leaked this on purpose. It's a classic marketing trick, and I'm not the only person to think this. And to be honest with you, when I saw the pictures, it was the first thing that I thought. It's a classic move, can't hold it against them. You create a hype leading up to the NAMM show, which starts on the 20th of January. We'll go into that in a second. And it's just a classic move. So leak it to the public, get everyone talking about it, and your advertising is done. All the hype's there. All the gas people want to buy it. People just go crazy. And believe me, the community has been going crazy. So it's perfect. Now, before we go into like let's start with the description. Okay, so I've got a couple of pictures here. Let's have a look at them. First things first, there is a couple of pictures out there of the main unit. One of them looks, I guess, legit. The other one has got 17 Q-Link buttons, so we think that's possibly AI. But the weird thing is if that is AI, then it's not really different at all from the other one that's out there with 16 Q-Links. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Obviously, none of us are. Well, there are obviously a few people. We know that there is a new MPC coming. There's absolutely no doubt about that. It's going to happen. There's going to be a flagship coming with the new stuff that's on the MPC 3, Live 3. So we know that's going to be happening with the new style pads and etc. So just looking at it here, it's got, all the Q-Links in a line, which me personally, not really a big fan. And it's got the step sequencer, what we assume is a step sequence underneath, which, it kind of makes sense. Now, with the picture, quite a lot of the text on there is too small to read, so we don't exactly know what's going on, but we can hazard a guess. There is a lot of buttons. There's a lot of buttons going on there. Now, this is an opinion piece, so I can only offer subjective opinion on this because we don't really know how true this is. So me personally, looking at it, I'm not a big fan of how it looks, but, it's functional. You've got the new strip down the side. You've got a ton of buttons, which I'm assuming will mean that you don't have to do very much menu digging. Obviously, you've still got the original big screen that's on the MPC X. And then you've got all of these buttons and knobs, these new things with the Q-Links across the middle. I'm just not really a fan looking at it. But, if it functions, look, at the end of the day, when you release a track and people hear it, the end user, I call them, they don't give a shit what MPC or what you made it on. They don't care. They really don't. So they definitely don't care what your MPC looks like. But there is an argument that if you're sat in the studio all day, you want to be inspired. If you've got an item of equipment, at least I'm like this, to be honest. If I don't like the look of it, then it's not as inspiring, is it? If you like the look of something, like for instance, the Isla Instruments S2400, I love the way that looks. It just inspires me. My retro MPC One, I love it because it looks like an old MPC. I'm not a massive fan of the red colorway that Akai have done on the Key 37 and the One Plus. So I honestly have got to say, I probably wouldn't have bought one in red. Or if I did, I would have put a skin on it because the looks are inspiring. Let's not lie here. They are to a lot of people, but the end user doesn't give a shit. So looking at it, I don't, like this is the thing. When I first saw it, I was just, oh my God, look how many buttons there are. It's ridiculous. It looks crazy. But the more that I look at it, the more I start sort of thinking, well, actually it does kind of like the way that it's got two colors, the black at the top, the kind of, I don't know, that's silver or light gray. And then it's got the pad at the bottom, if that is kind of like padded, you know, like the old MPC 3000, that kind of thing. That would be amazing. Kind of gives it a luxurious feel. And you do start thinking, well, it does kind of look cool. The pads down the middle underneath the screen is a good thing for me. I love that. It's one of the things that I love about the MPC 2500. It's one of the reasons why I'm getting my MPC 2500 sent over to me from the UK, and I'm going to start using it again. And it's one of the reasons why I love the MPC One. The pads are right underneath the screen. So that's good. You know, maybe the Q-Links in the long line, you know, I've never owned an X, but I can imagine the Q-Links down on the left-hand side. It's actually quite cool that you've got all 16 there. You can just lay one hand. You don't have to move your hand. So that's actually quite a good thing. So I'm not sure about the functionality of the Q-Links and the step sequencer. Step sequencer does kind of have to be in a line, so that does make sense. But the Q-Links being like that, maybe they could have had the Q-Links on the left-hand side and the step sequencer in a long line. You know, I don't know. I'm not a design person. And also they had to get the new strip in as well, didn't they? So that's just, you know, like kind of my opinion on how it actually looks. There's a few things on there that my personal opinion is that where it doesn't add up. We'll go into more of the things in a moment about what things for me don't add up and why I think that there's a possibility that it might not be real. Is just the knobs themselves don't look very Akai. The buttons themselves, I don't know. I guess they kind of do, but I don't know. I've got the knobs, the Q-Link knobs, and the main knob. You know, maybe they've gone for a completely new look, but they don't go in. They don't fit in with previous Akai knobs. So another picture that I've got here is of the back of the box. Now this is where a few things for me don't 100% add up, but again, it could be that the whole box is not there. It's been cropped. First things first, and I'm not the only person to notice this, if you look along the top of this particular picture, I don't know if you're going to see it clearly on the YouTube screen, but if you look across the top of the picture, there doesn't seem to be anything about USB-C ports, which, you know, there's absolutely no way they're going to release a new flagship without USB-C ports. It's not going to happen. But they could be out of the picture. They could be above the USB-A ports or to the side of them or whatever, and it's not actually included in the picture. So that was one of the main things for me where things started falling apart. The other thing about the back of the box is if you look at the back of the box on other MPCs, yes, it does have a picture of the unit, but it does also have other information from Akai, like barcodes, you know, all small print, all that kind of stuff. Now, because the picture isn't of the whole box, it could be that that's elsewhere on the box. But just by looking at the size of the box and the scale of the box, it doesn't look like very much is cropped. So that doesn't add up for me. Although, again, the information could be on the side of the box because, you know, it's obviously going to be quite a deep box. So it could be on the side. And again, like I said, this is all speculation and guesswork. But yeah, you know, and obviously as well, some of the writing on the box wasn't legible because it's not a 100% clear photograph. You know, it could be, and this is where we're going to get into what my opinion of whether it's AI or not. It could be 100% AI. It's easy to do a mock-up of something nowadays and people don't know. No matter how hard you try, you're just not going to know. So it might not be real, but why I think it could be real is we do know that there's a flagship coming. It's going to happen quite so soon after the MPC Live II. I think it's quite sudden. It lines up with the NAMM happening. The price, $28.99. Yeah, that could be true. You know, it's about right. It's a lot of money. I'll go into my opinion on that in a second. It lines up with the NAMM. NAMM starts on the 20th. The 20th, the first day, tends to be media and they do release stuff. But the thing which doesn't line up for me, and I did try and do a bit of research on this before the video, but on the media day at NAMM, which is the 20th of January, that's the day where the leak said it was going to be on the streets. Now, to have the media day, that media day tends to be a day where the media get their hands on something, they can write reviews, they can start creating a little bit of hype, and then normally a week later, you know, take Apple, for instance, when they do the release thing of the new iPhone 78 or whatever it is now, they tend to do it, and then like maybe a week later or maybe a few days later or maybe even the next day, it'll be released, but it doesn't tend to be released on the actual media day. They do tend to give the media a little bit of you know, a bit of breathing room. Now, things happen a lot quicker nowadays, so it doesn't tend to be a week. It might be a day or two. So that doesn't really line up for me. That's not usual, but it doesn't mean that it isn't how it's going to happen. But the media day is on the 20th of January, and they say the release day is on the 20th of January. So that doesn't really line up for me. But the whole thing about the leak, you know, I mean, it being an old school trick. I mean, it really is. People are going absolutely mental about this. We've got two camps of people. We've got people saying that they are going to buy one immediately. We've got other people saying you don't need it. It's over the top. Why would you buy this? You've got people with MPC Live II saying, I'm not going to need that. That's not needed. You've got people with MPC Live IIIs that are saying, I'm immediately selling it and buying this. And surely they must have known that this was coming. So then, of course, you've got people that have waited, and they're going to wait for the new XL to come out, the new flagship to come out. What do I think of it? I mean, you know, it's as a central piece of the studio. I used to own an MPC 4000, and for me, that was my central piece of the studio. But then saying that, for a while, I had a 2000 that was a central piece, and before that, a 60 and a 3000. It doesn't need to have absolutely everything in it. But as a central piece of the studio, and if you've got the money, $28.99. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, especially considering that there's probably quite a high chance that the MPC Live III does everything that it can do, but just in a smaller box. And then you've got people that are saying that at $28.99 you could buy an absolutely amazing laptop and a pad controller and have the same thing. But, you know, it isn't the same thing, is it? It's not the same as having a standalone machine. Some people want 100% standalone machine. Although you could argue that it isn't really 100% standalone machine because of the way that they've got it set up, it's supposed to be used with a laptop. So, you know, how do I feel about that? I mean, in terms of will I actually be buying one? Probably not. Will Akai send me one? Definitely not. But those people that are lucky enough to be sent one, you know, fair play to them. But, you know, what I would probably, if I'm going to buy a new generation, it would probably be the Live III, as things stand at the moment. But of course, you know, we all know that these machines come out, the hipsters love it for 6 months and then they sell it. So I could wait for it to come out and 6 months later buy one and it only be $2,000. Although $2,000 is still a lot of money to pay for a massive box with loads of buttons on it, but doesn't really do anything else that a small laptop could do. In fact, a small laptop that you could probably buy for $500 could actually do more faster with more stuff on it, more plugins, etc., etc. But, you know, that's another complete argument, and I don't really want to get into that because, you know, we're just focusing on this. So is it real? Who knows? Who cares? And let's just wait. I mean, Akai are really, really good at doing this. You know, they know what they're doing. They're creating a hype. Everyone's going mental about it. Absolutely mental about it. I'm just looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, hey, you know, it does actually look quite cool. We'll see. Oh yeah, by the way, T-shirts, huh? But this is just a one-off at the moment. I'm not necessarily planning on getting a whole load done. I've got some Crates Motel. Oh, I've got a Crates Motel one-off done as well. I've got some Crates Motel Records one done. They're black with white. I might do the CM Records, Crates Motel Records ones. I might print up 20 and just sell them on the channel. I'm not really sure yet, but I just thought for fun, I'll get a concierge one made just for when I DJ and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'll see what the reaction is from you guys. You know, if you're all going, and I want concierge t-shirts. I don't think any of you actually talk like that, do you? If there's a big enough demand, then maybe I'll look into it. The only thing for me with merchandise is I live in Dubai, so it's difficult to distribute it. The thing is most of you, if you did want any merchandise from me, you're probably not going to be living in Dubai, so shipping is going to be a lot of money. In fact, you know, with a t-shirt or a mug or a keychain or whatever, it's probably going to cost the same, if not more, in shipping to get to you. So I don't know whether it's really worth my while, because I don't want to mug you guys off. You know, I want it to be reasonable, make a little money myself, but also you guys get something that you really, really want and not have to pay through the nose for it. So just I've wandered off the subject here a little bit, but in terms of merchandise, it's something I'm thinking about. I have been asked by a ton of people, but I'm just not sure because of the distribution situation that it would be from Dubai. I suppose I could get them made in another country, but I'm quite hands-on and I wouldn't have QC if it was in another country. It'd be very complicated to get it made in another country, have some shipped over here so I can check them out and then distribute them from there. But, you know, who knows? Maybe somebody will reach out to me on here and say, Conan, I've got a t-shirt company and I can do them for you, etc. Who knows? Whatever. So thanks for watching. That's my opinion on the new leaked, maybe new, could happen, might not happen, MPC XL. Thanks for watching. This is A Crazy Motel. My name's Conan. I'm the concierge. See you next time.
Concierge.